Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel Amok for All. In today's video we're talking about Gran Turismo Sport PlayStation 4 game on my PlayStation 5, and we're talking about HGIG versus dynamic tone mapping. Enjoy! Gran Turismo Sport is a PlayStation 4 game, a couple of years old already, but still in a very good shape. Look at this graphic, and I will show a little bit later some gameplay or in-game gameplay as well. But right now we're focusing on HGIG versus dynamic tone mapping. And what I found on the official HGIG website, and that's why I'm a little bit confused, is the box art from the game in combination with how to set up or how to calibrate your TV or the PlayStation. So it looks like to me, when I'm reading or looking at the web page, that this game is actually supporting HGIG. But whatever I'm going to change on the internal HDR calibration menu from the PlayStation 5 has no impact at all in the game. When you activate HDR on your PlayStation 5 in combination with this game, brightness level 50 is still brightness level 50. You don't have to increase it to 49, 48. You can leave it at 50. There's no increasement in the black level whatsoever for this game. Okay, so again, the internal HDR calibration setup from the PlayStation 5 has no impact at all on the internal calibration from the game. So when we're talking about dynamic tone mapping and HGIG, then we know that the settings are always different. Okay, let's say we setting this up to HGIG, and it should be around 19. Yeah, so 19 is the spot I would set it when I'm using HGIG, but now when I'm turning on dynamic tone mapping, you can see you have to increase this to, I think it was 33, yeah, 33. So this is always the difference between dynamic tone mapping and HGIG. And the problem is why? Because now dynamic tone mapping is analyzing the screen and it founds this very bright spot, and it will just focus on this spot. It will make this much more brighter, but the overall picture will go a little bit darker, and I will show you this in the game again. I have a little bit of problems with this game, which mode I really like, because it depends what you're doing at this very moment. If you're just focusing on racing, then HGIG is the better solution. But if you like to take pictures in the photo mode or picture mode, then actually dynamic tone mapping is much better, and I will show you why. So, okay, I choose this scene to demonstrate something. So right now it's calibrated to HGIG, which means it's 4. It's a little bit different in this menu. Because it's just from 1 to 10, but 4 is for HGIG and 8 is for dynamic tone mapping. Okay, so but we're starting with HGIG. What we have here is a nice sunrise, and it is very bright. It is 7:30 in the morning or something like that, and the overall picture is really, really nice. I really like it. This is very bright and it looks like a sunrise. So when we're now talking or changing this to dynamic tone mapping, then we need to focus also on the screen. So first of all, dynamic tone mapping means it is number 8. So let's change it to 8 right now, okay? Now I'm changing to dynamic tone mapping on. What you can see between HGIG and dynamic tone mapping is that actually HGIG at this very moment has a brighter picture, overall brighter picture than dynamic tone mapping. Can you see this? HGIG, dynamic tone mapping. Okay, dynamic tone mapping at this very moment is darker than HGIG. So that's for the people that are always complaining dynamic tone mapping is too dark. And this is because dynamic tone mapping is analyzing the screen again, founds this very bright spot and is concentrating on this spot. And to get the best result, the best contrast, it will lower the brightness from the other part from the screen, and it will just focus on this. With HGIG, we keep the brightness here, and we also keep the brightness from the rest. So, but now we have a big problem. HGIG, and even I'm changing this back to 4, is not as detailed as dynamic tone mapping. In dynamic tone mapping, and I hope you can see this a little bit on the camera, we have nice clouds here. This is very fine detailed clouds here. Here's the sun with nice sun beams. I have no idea what the name is. And here a couple of clouds. So when I'm changing this to HGIG, I'm changing this back to 4, even I'm going lower, which is 1 is absolute crap, and with 2 it starts to show a little bit of details. But 4 is really the sweet spot for HDRG. I'm missing so many details here. There is really just one big globe, white spot, but nothing else. With dynamic tone mapping, and we change this to 8, this is very nice. We have one white spot here and then the cloud starts. Very nice detailed. So we can say now, oh, dynamic tone mapping is much better. Yes, in this picture, when we talking about our standing picture, when we're not playing the game, and why, I will show you this. So we know that dynamic tone mapping is analyzing the screen all the time. Okay, let me leave this on 8, which means it's focusing on this bright spot at the moment. So let's see, and now you focus on the whole screen, what happened when I'm changing this to 1. Just have a look on the whole screen. The whole screen takes around 7 to 8 seconds to go brighter. The whole screen is going brighter. And I can easily prove this, because before HDRG was a little bit brighter. When I'm going now to HDRG, it goes much darker. So now dynamic tone mapping is much brighter. But of course we have the wrong HDR settings. But this is to prove a point, because when I'm changing this now to 8, which is the right settings, it will also take around 5, 6, 7 seconds to get all the nice details back, because dynamic tone mapping is analyzing the screen. It takes a freaking long time to get the right picture. When it's done, then you can clearly see the difference. But let's say I'm doing this again. I'm going back to 1. We wait a little bit. And then I'm going to 8 again. So just focus on this. This is just a white, I don't know, just white paint. You can't distinguish any details from the clouds. Let's go to 8. Still nothing. Now I can see the clouds again. Now it's getting more. And now it's done. So now it's the picture what you have. It took 5, 6, 7 seconds. So now the problem what I'm having to use dynamic tone mapping in any game, because it takes, let's say, 5 seconds to adjust the screen. But what you're doing actually, you play the whole time. So that means we are lucky that on this, right now on this scene from the game, we have this nice sunrise. So right now what dynamic tone mapping is doing, it will brighten up the screen again. But again, it will take 5 seconds. So on the next corner, I show you something what I mean, why dynamic tone mapping is not good. Look, there comes the sun. No, sorry, it was the next one. Okay, sorry. Wait. So here comes the sun. And that's it, sun is gone. So dynamic tone mapping has no change at all, no chance at all to adjust the screen. Not at all, because it's not enough time. So what you have at this very moment is a complete wrong HDR. So that's why, and I'm trying to go back. I did a terrible mistake, but anyway, let me try to go back to show you this. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. And the game is actually, this is a PlayStation 4 game, by the way. Let me show you my car. Okay, so we have here the nice sun again. So we are in dynamic tone mapping again. So let's go to the option menu again, to my video settings. So we are HDR brightness 4. Let's change this to 8 again. Let's adjust. Let's wait till this is adjusted, okay? So we're focusing on all the whole screen, okay, when I'm reducing this to 1. Okay, now HDR looks absolutely crap, but this goes brighter. Can you see it? This is so obvious that dynamic tone mapping is changing something, and I don't like it. Because if this would be almost immediately, then I would be very happy, but this takes so long time. Again, focus on this. I hope you can see this. This is just a white smashed potato salad or whatever. I can't see any clouds. Okay, let's change this to 8. Well, let's wait. It's starting. You can now see much more clouds here, finer details. And I think now it's done. That's the time what it takes to adjust the screen. And that's way too long. Okay, so now we're having a problem here because dynamic tone mapping in this picture at the moment, I'm talking about a picture, not the game, because we're not playing. This is a picture. When you're now using the photo mode in this game, then dynamic tone mapping is a much better option to see what's going on, because it will show you a much better HDR picture. But we're talking about gaming, and that's why I have to recommend HDHE as almost in every game. Change this to 4, because you can see there's also, so one is absolutely terrible. 2, it's starting to show you a HDR effect. 3 is getting better. 4 is the sweet spot. 5 is already blowing out details, so 4 is really good. But we also have on the other side here, what you can't see, the exposure adjustment. And what I found is you can increase this to 0.2 without losing details on my screen, so without losing details. So I would recommend to try HDHE, set this to 4 and the exposure to 0.2, and then you have a really nice picture. And again, this game looks just great, and I like to play in this mode. And I'm so terrible. I played my first online racing last time, and I will upload this video, but you can see how bad I am in this game. It's just amazing or crazy how good people are in this game. I mean, very sure they're playing all with steering wheel, but I have to say this PlayStation 5 controller, I told you a couple of times, is my new favorite, much better than the PlayStation 4 controller. And you can see how bad I am. But again, PlayStation 4 game, I can't wait till Gran Turismo, is it 7? Gran Turismo 7 for the PlayStation 5 comes out, because yeah, I have to concentrate, and otherwise I'm just not good. But look at this nice picture. This is HDHE at the moment. I'm very sure when we're changing this now to dynamic tone mapping, we have more details. But again, if it takes 5 to 6 seconds to adjust the screen. So there's no point, in my opinion, to use dynamic tone mapping. Just you have at the end, from 5 seconds, you have a better picture than HDHE. Because in the beginning, when the adjustment is starting, you have a worse picture than HDHE. That's the problem. That's why I would recommend use HDHE with this game. Set it to my settings. The HDR brightness is 4, exposure is 0.2 plus, and you're good to go. Okay, so this was a very long video, and yeah, I hope you get my point, what I'm talking about. Dynamic tone mapping is, yeah, it's a nice option, but it's just an option. HDHE in most of the cases, it's just the better solution. Even the picture goes a little bit brighter or darker in some circumstances, because again, we have to understand dynamic tone mapping. If there is no bright object on the screen, the picture will be brighter than with HDHE. As soon there's a very bright object on the screen, what we have seen, like the sun, HDHE will be brighter in the overall picture quality, okay? Overall picture brightness, not quality. That's for this video. I would say, if you're new to this channel, you have to subscribe, please, please, please. I would much appreciate it, of course. Watch my other videos. I will upload more videos from this game because I really like it. And yeah, I'm waiting for Gran Turismo 7. And you shouldn't do this, but it looks just great, huh? Okay, so thank you very much for watching me. I'll see you next time. Bye.